Okay, everybody, it's me, Gregory Mannarino. It is Monday, February 28th, 2022. Sit back and relax, people. Things are moving very rapidly. We're going to put a whole bunch of things together here, and I'm going to tell you specifically what you should be doing with regard to your portfolio right here and right freaking now. Let's start off with, before we talk about the geopolitical situation, what's going on with Russia, Ukraine, and all the moving parts to it. All kinds of arms deals are going on right now. Military spending is ballooning. No surprise to you. You knew it was coming. I told you. But first, like I said, let's talk about some economic news that we just got here in the United States, and it's pretty frightening in my view. I've explained to all of you for the longest time that not only is our economy in free fall, but we were going to see debts and deficits hyper balloon. Well, we just got, this is crazy, our trade deficit number for January, it increased by 7.1%. 7.1%. There's no end in sight here. Again, debts and deficits are out of control. They're going to continue to go that way. As a matter of fact, they're going to get a lot worse, especially in the current situation. And it's all part of the same thing. Again, these debts and deficits, well, I think you already understand what's really driving these things. It's a global economy in collapse. I don't know another way to put it here. And it's only going to get worse. I mean, there's no way out of it. All right, I think you know that. So what does that mean for you and me? We got to do what we have to do, at least to keep ourselves on the right side of this absolutely out of control freak show that we're in. I mean, period, the end. All right, so let's talk. A couple of big developments happening here. This threat of nuclear weapons being used here by Vladimir Poo-Poo over there definitely is taking its toll here on markets. Stock futures right now are lower across the board. Okay, we'll talk more about that. On top of the nuclear threat, we have what appears to be a market somewhat fearful, and we're going to talk about that too, on the way sanctions are going right now and with the SWIFT system. Okay, so we know how that's playing out. It appears that certain or a certain number of Russian banks are going to be cut off from the SWIFT system. Okay, market's not really too happy about that, so we got a double whammy here. The threat of some kind of use of nuclear weapons, possibly, and this Russian bank issue being cut off from the SWIFT system. All right, so with that said, what are we seeing? We're seeing stock futures under some pressure, but what else are we seeing here? Okay, keep your eyes open. We got the 10-year yield lower. What does that mean? Cash is seeking safety. It's seeking safety in debt. We got the knee-jerk higher in the dollar. What is that called? A safety trade, okay? Safety trade. And that looks to me as if we're going to see a fear trade right at the open, meaning stocks will drop. With that said, people, look, like I always told you, it doesn't matter what they do. They can throw anything at us, or they can throw a war at us if they want to. We just got to pick the right spots to be in with regard to the freak show market. It's pretty simple in my view. Okay, if you were to go to my website right now, traderschoice.net, Gregory Mannarino's top stock picks, you will see some ticker symbols there. These are the banks that I've been recommending for a while now, okay? I still feel you got to own these things if you're one of my lions here, okay? You also should be looking at oil and gas producers. Again, they've been on my website now for several days. You should be looking at a commodities ETF or getting exposure to commodities. Commodity prices are taking off. Not just crude oil, but you got commodities pretty much across the board are taking off. So you need some exposure there too. Look at ticker PDBC. Now, here's another one I'm going to throw at you. Okay, I wasn't even going to bring this up, but I will. For those of you that feel you need some exposure or want some exposure to these, and this is a personal choice which I am grappling with right now. I'm talking about getting long defense companies, defense contractors. I'm going to tell you my play right now. I will not be buying them. Okay, I do believe there is cash to be made. But as a moral issue, yes, a moral stock trader. Have you ever heard of someone like that? I feel there's other ways to capitalize on this market. If you are a subscriber to my free newsletter, I sent this out last week, specific ticker symbols. It's not hard to find if you are not a subscriber to my newsletter. Just, let your fingers do the walking. Look at the major defense contractors that pay a dividend. And if you are so inclined, again, look, it's not for me. I don't invest in pharmaceutical companies either. I feel that these are organizations that do sincerely capitalize on people being ill. They want people to be ill. They don't want to cure anyone. And with regard to the war that is currently going on right now, defense contractors are going to benefit a lot moving forward. Why? Let's talk about that real quick. Nations around the world, and do your own research, are already scrambling to create arms deals. The first biggest one was President Biden-Stein retard and Poland, a $6 billion tank deal. And this is just the beginning. Other nations around the world. Germany just committed to vastly, their words, vastly increasing defense spending here. You got the European Union sending $500 billion worth of weapons to Ukraine. You got President Biden-Stein, again, the retard, sending Ukraine another $350 billion in weapons. So you can see where this is going to go. And let me allow you to understand something else here. This thing over there, Russia-Ukraine, which I told you pretty much from the onset, was an arms deal in disguise, and it's exactly how it's playing out. Okay, this is obviously much bigger than that, but is an arms deal, big time, global. Like I said, deals are being made all over the place. You're not supposed to know about it. Just most of this stuff is hidden in plain sight. Just use a search engine and look it up for yourself. And you can expect spending to, be in the trillions of dollars. This mechanism allows cash to be borrowed into existence. People, look, I've explained something to you recently, and I want to cover it real quick. Crisis to crisis to crisis. That's how we function here. The real reason why we're going from crisis to crisis to crisis is because, you see, once a crisis is allowed to manifest itself or created, the public must get behind it. There's no arguing about it. There's no conjecture. There's no votes on sending, millions, hundreds of millions of dollars of weapons anywhere. It just is taken out of the public hands, and it's by executive order around the world. They can do whatever they want to do. This is why it's crisis to crisis to crisis. And these crises must be prolonged. In order for a crisis to work, okay, it must be structured in such a way as to allow it to drag out for long periods of time. Let's look at the current crisis real quick. Okay, so what's going on? We're hearing about possible talks. We're hearing about the Russian army being slowed down over here. Bullshit. This is all a mechanism. I'm not saying that's not happening. It is happening. But it's a mechanism to keep this prolonged. Instead of this conflict lasting, let's say, days to just a couple of weeks, it's going to be prolonged because, again, the longer any crisis can be prolonged. Let's look at the last one, COVID. They dragged that one out pretty long. The more cash can be borrowed and created out of thin air. And we're already on the threshold yet again, as you all know, and it's getting mainstream coverage right now. The energy crisis, the new energy crisis. I told you this before it happened. That's where we're going here. And they're going to prolong that too. So again, crisis to crisis, prolong it, and pro-freaking long it. Period. The end. All right. Anyway, so let's talk. As I explained to you already, people, it looks like a safety trade moving into a fear trade. I told you what you should be looking at. Anyway, check out my website, traderschoice.net. I did not place defense contractors on my top stock picks. That's up to you. All right. I'm telling you, play it how you want to. I already explained to you about the flurry of arms deals that are going on right now. Germany vastly increases their defense spending. No surprise to you either here. Anyway, let's talk about this, people. Another thing that's really, really important. So what's going on right now is the Russian ruble is cratering. And what is the Russian central bank doing it? They're raising their benchmark rate by 20%. Okay. I think we all realize that this is part of the game that's being played. We're in a global race to the bottom with regard to currencies. Okay. And it's just all playing together as this whole freak show gets even worse moving forward here. Look, you pretty much have the situation down. Let's cover it again real quick. Abysmal economic news here in the United States. Our economy is crashing. The global economy is crashing. Central banks need every excuse, and they will create any excuse that you can imagine and think about and possibly even maybe not even be able to dream about in your wildest nightmares to keep the debt-based economic model well-oiled, well-fueled. That means what? Crisis to crisis to crisis. Prolonged crisis to crisis to crisis. Look, as you all are well aware of, the real crisis is the current debt crisis that we are in. And that is really the backbone of every single other crisis that you're seeing. Many smaller crises must be used, implemented, and created to keep the debt crisis, going here. It must be fueled. If they have to create wars, I've told you this a million times, human suffering on an incredible scale, they don't care how many people they have to kill. It doesn't matter. Everyone is expendable in this situation here. You and me, both your families, your children, doesn't matter. Okay, to keep the global debt-based system going, they'll kill millions. It's all part of this new paradigm I've warned about, this new set of rules, creation of a new two-tier society, an elimination of entire class of people in the literal sense. I've said that to you. You're seeing it right now. Everything I have explained to you, it's in your face. And if you don't see it, you're blind. I think you get it, though, if you follow this blog here. People, look, we're not going to let this beat us. There's just no way, okay? Keep hoarding physical silver, okay? Gold, love gold. Platinum, palladium, love that too. Cryptocurrencies, absolutely. Bitcoin, still around 38,000. You know how to take advantage of this, okay? Take advantage of everything. And again, if you want to apply your moral compass to it, you can do that too, okay? I don't know. I just can't bring myself. I really can't bring myself today, and I'm not going to do it. I'm going to tell you right now, to buy defense contractors. I'm not going to do that. I feel like there's other ways to beat the system that is obviously trying to destroy all of us. I just can't pull the trigger on the defense contractors. I can't do it. I can't freaking do it. And I'm not going to. Anyway, it's up to you if you want to. But with regard to oil and gas companies, absolutely. I think that's fair game. With regard to the banks, I think that's fair game too. You got to be kind of hard-nosed, I guess is the word. But again, for me, defense contractors cross the line. Okay, and I'm not willing to do that. All right, people, look, this guy here loves you a lot. Lots of important stuff in this video. Please share it. Please get it out there, and we'll sum this all up later. And if you do subscribe to my free newsletter, again, hint, link in the description of this video, throughout the day, I'm firing stuff out. Sometimes I forget to cover things in these videos. Again, none of this is scripted, except I write some stuff down in the morning that I want to talk about. But I forget things, you know. So please do subscribe to my free newsletter. It's literally free. I got your back. All right. I really am trying as hard as I possibly can. This is the truth. To keep all of you in the know, so you can get into my head, understand what I'm thinking. I want us all to win, regardless of anything else. People, we are our greatest resource. I tell you this every freaking Friday, that we gotta love each other, care about each other, be charitable. It's the truth. If we all embrace that kind of a concept, do you think you'd see what you're seeing now? No, you wouldn't. But this is the central banks. This is the central banks fulfilling their end game. This is all this is. They are the puppet masters. All right? I'm out of here. I'll see you later.